Hello. Should be live. Let me know if the sound is okay and all that. Just bear with me a second here. Right. Well, I have some games that I like to play repetitively. This is one of them. I haven't had a chance to play this in a very long time, years I reckon, so I booted it up here and I'm pretty bad at it right now, which is unfortunate, but we're gonna try and get back in the swing of things. We're gonna de-dust ourselves. I still hope one day to beat Yada difficult, and it's never gonna happen if I never actually play the fucking game. So, you know, we gotta make it happen. I think it makes for repetitive streaming is the only problem. Like the games I'd like to stream are ones I've streamed before. You know, I'd like to play more Bayonetta and the One Full 101. It's easier to justify doing that when you're streaming it, you know? So, yeah. A few others I'd like to play more as well. To give Oxygen Not Included more time. I need to actually get the Devil Dagger someday as well, you know? The only problem with that one is, though, I have a high frame rate monitor and I got kind of attached to that. Devil Daggers is... It's nice to play FPS games with the high frame rate, but you can't stream at high frame rates, you know? Maybe there's some way to stream at 60 and play at 144, but I don't know. I don't know how to do it, so... Need to play Vanquish as well. A lot of games I need to play over and over again. Give them more time. Next Machina. I feel like a weight was lifted off me today when I basically officially cancelled that thing, because that was weighing me down a bit, so I'm feeling relaxed now for the first time in a little while. Would you recommend the System Shock games? System Shock 1, I was surprised. If you don't want to hear, maybe stop listening for like 30 seconds or a minute or something. I was surprised playing System Shock 1 that I had a very different picture of what it was in my mind, having not really looked at it, but being aware of its legacy through like System Shock 2 and Bioshock and stuff like that. But System Shock 1 is just a straight up dungeon crawler. So... whether or not you should play it kind of depends on how you feel about that. It just happens to be set in space, but it's a dungeon crawler. I enjoyed System Shock 2 more, but it is hard to make an argument that it hasn't been bested, you know, in the time since then. But yeah, it's still worth playing. I'd say they're both worth playing, but I did enjoy the second one more. Somebody asked me if I played Fallouts as well. I've played Fallout 1 and Fallout 3. Fallout 3 was the first one I played. And cleared Fallout 1 off my backlog last year. Had a reasonably good time with it. I hated the combat. I said as much on the Ask page, and I was reassured that everybody hates the combat, so I'm apparently not an outlier there. But yeah, I can see why it's you know, revered, even if I don't think I like it as much as most people who like it. But I had a good time with it. I would say it's worth playing for sure. It's not gonna get the dust on the right. No. No, I'm not doing anything on Sekiro. You should take a look at the Twitter if you're asking about that. But basically I decided that it was just going to be too repetitive. It was going to be the Lost Soul Arts video again, basically. And you know, it did kind of have worth in I kind of don't want to talk about it because I kind of want to consider it finished, because I was agonizing over whether or not to continue on with this or not. It kind of did have worth doing it because it was kind of like taking a specific example and drilling into it a little bit more, you know. But I don't know, considering the amount of work I would still have to do on it to get it done, it just doesn't seem worthwhile. Wow, my personal best on this level seems pretty good. Man, I was this good at the game at one point. Wow. I know it's not. Oh. I know it's not anything amazing, but yeah. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. My voice is a little low. I'll see what I can do about that. Turn the gain up a little bit as well. There you go. Yeah, I understand. Not having a Twitter, I don't blame you. So, that's alright. Oh man, I'm playing as Dust Girl now. Let's see, we gotta start off with something easy, because I am no good at this anymore. Valley, I think that's a very easy one. Apparently Katana Zero is good, that's good to know. Yeah, I want to try it at some point. I have a feeling my score on this level is probably pretty good as well. I think there was a brief period where I was playing the game like sometime after I did the recommendation video, and I got better at it, and I kind of got into the groove of doing the downwards dash into the faster dashing thing, but I can't do that anymore. It's okay. I watched one of my replays earlier though, and it was shit. Like, it was way worse than that Archives one, so I clearly didn't go back to every level. This is all very slow. If you were to watch a top replay, this would be extremely slow by comparison. Yeah, I hope to do 2 commentaries this year. One of them will be quite short, though. Commentary sort of implies very long, but some games are short. Some games are very short. Some games are under an hour long. There can still be a commentary if you talk about the whole game. I don't know if I have enough to talk about, but I'm hoping to do a more stringent commentary like the Devil May Cry one, which is all scripted, and then a more casual one like the Demon Souls one, where maybe I do it off the cuff, just have some pre-planned things and maybe edit it down a little bit and not dwell on it so much. Did that smoother than I expected to. That was okay. It's all very slow though. The worst thing about Dustforce is when you watch other people's replays and you feel very slow by comparison. I'll keep trying this one. This one's pretty fun. Yeah, it could have been fast boosting there. What do you have against an easy mode in Sekiro? I just don't really care one way or another. I think developers should be free to do whatever they want. The whole dialogue around the thing is just very, very pointless and tiring, you know? And I say developers should be free to do what they want and people should be free to complain, you know? But it's tiring. It's just tiring. It's especially funny that FromSoft games are the ones that get this thing because they're popular. That's the only reason this whole debate sparks off over their games, just because they're popular. Like, Sekiro's not that hard. Maybe I'm in the minority in thinking that, but it's just not that hard. I'm a big fan of Mega Micro videos as well. Yeah, I would like to do another one of those if it works out. We'll have to see. Yeah, I'm very happy with how that came together. It was fun to do small things for a change, you know? Yeah, that's a good point, Jake. It happens. I think you've nailed why it actually frustrates me. Wow, that would have been a personal best. It can't be that bad then. I mean, comparatively. Yeah, that frustrates me. Yeah, because just there's way more things that need to be talked about when it comes to those games, and they just don't get discussed, you know? Like, just imagine if you're at FromSoft and you're looking for feedback, that's the overwhelming amount of feedback you get. And you just turn around and you go, well, that's not the kind of game, you know, I wanted to make a difficult game in the first place, right? I wanted to have a certain level of challenge, so that's not a problem. So my game must not have very many problems then, if that's all anybody's talking about, you know? Yeah, it's 3 a.m. I don't sleep. We don't do regular hours here. I wish I did, but I'm just not capable of sticking to it. And there's kind of downsides both ways in that trying to force myself to stick to it, I sometimes feel quite groggy and I don't get much done. And I'm generally better at getting things done when I'm on my own schedule. But the really unfortunate, now there we go, we're getting the hang of it now. The really unfortunate thing is that when you're on a weird schedule, like, it's great, you know, great part of working for yourself and at home is that you can do that, but then occasionally real life strikes and you have to go out and you have to do something in the real world, you know, and then it's either a case of, well, I gotta go to bed at a time when I'm not expecting it, or I have to stay up longer than I'm supposed to, or whatever, and that can really fuck you up. But I don't, having tried both ways, I don't think there's a substantial benefit to me either way, so here we are. I talked about it before. Basically, when I first left my day job, I started sticking to a schedule and, you know, getting up at the right time every day and stuff like that, but I just felt groggy sometimes, and yeah, I work a bit better this way. Oh, I'm feeling relaxed. That's good. Oh. It sounds serene. Wow. That's me. Well, I've actually been quite stressed the past few days, but yeah. The only problem is I still have to get a video out, you know? That's it. Does switching between lots of different games rather than getting really into one bother you? Yeah, it does. This is part of the problem that I've had lately, actually, is that just you go through different phases, you know? I'm sure you've all been the same way. Is right now I would rather spend time playing games that I already have played. And I could make videos about some of them. Like, I could still do another Dustforce video, you know? But I mostly just want to play it. And I have a lot of games that I want to spend a lot of time in. But I can't because I gotta do videos on things and stuff. So, Whereas sometimes I am in the mood to do that. I'm in the mood to explore new things and find new stuff that I can surface to people, but not always. And right now I'm not in the mood to play something new. I want to just play Dustforce again and lots of other games as well. Bayonetta, The Wonderful 101, Next Machina, Devil Daggers. Fucking could probably name like 20 that I would like to just play, and I mean sit down and play for like a week, you know, and see what comes of it. I wonder how I should, what's the best way to deal? I'm gonna look at a replay next time I finish this level, because I don't know the best way to deal with those leaves there, because they slow me down even if I get there must be a nice smooth way of dealing with them. That is an unfortunate spread there. One of the tricky things with Dustforce when you get started is how often, you don't really think about this actually, but how often you have to hold up on the D-pad, because you rarely have to do that in most platformers, I find, because jump is your vertical movement, you know, but in Dustforce you gotta, if you want to cling to the underside of something, you have to hold up to tell the game that that's what you want to do. So who's your favorite character in this game? I just like Dustman. I'm a Dustman man. I think Dust Girl has the best animations. Dustworth is cool. I would probably like him the most, except that just his play style isn't not my thing. I just like the regular old Dustman. What's your what? Went back to it and it felt clunkier than you remembered. No, I played it for about 20 minutes before I started the stream and it felt clunky. It's just something you have to get over, you know? Yeah, I'm dusting off my skills. I know that platform, there's no point even trying to convey what I mean because I won't be able to describe it. I definitely know at least one platform that I'm walking over that I shouldn't have to. Could just heavy attack through it if I was better. Yeah, I like some shooters. I like Resident Evil 4 as my favorite third-person shooter. I like Doom, the original Doom. I played a lot of Time Splitters growing up, especially the second one. I think first-person shooters are an easy genre to, well, maybe not easy, but they're an easy genre. I'm just gonna use the word easy. This is stream, Matthew. You're not paying for the well thought out you know, carefully chosen word version of me. First-person shooters are easy to get right, I think, comparatively, compared to some other genres. Or maybe it's just because there's a lot of them that are good. I don't know. I think tying the main skill that you use to the mouse is very intuitive, you know. First person is the best way to convey that in a lot of ways anyway. So it's just an easy thing to be at least competent at, I think. So you rarely go wrong with a first person shooter, I think. Would have been nearly perfect. Gotten into any shmups? I've been playing a lot more shmups lately. Yeah. I would have been tempted to review Zero Ranger. Oh, we nearly bested my time. Zero Ranger is one I'd be interested in reviewing, except I just haven't played enough of the genre to know if it's even remarkable in the first place. You know, I had a good time with it, and I think I see its appeal compared to other shoot 'em up games, but I would rather be sure of that before I made a video on it, you know. But I have been playing more, especially because I got the Mega SG and the Super NT. That's encouraged me to play more retro stuff. I've played a lot of retro stuff. I was around when what's called retro now was new, you know. But yeah, it's definitely encouraged me to play more of that. There's quite a lot of shmups on those two consoles, so I'm still, yeah. I'll be talking a little bit about shmups in the future, if all goes well. Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. But, and then after that, maybe a bit more. Who knows? Let's see. Apparently it didn't get, I was looking into that, apparently it didn't get ported to the Switch because they couldn't get a dev kit, I think. So, yeah. I agree, it would be great for a Switch release. Assuming it's like reasonably optimized behind the curtains, which I imagine it is, or could be. Intentionally slowing myself down there, which is not good. What is the cutest video game character there is? Tough one because there's a lot to choose from, you know. There's a lot of mascots, and there's, you know, speaking of shmups, there's cute 'em ups, things like that, you know. You have some guilty pleasure games. I was asked that before. The only answer I could come up with was Dead by Daylight, which I haven't played in a long time, but I by no means could consider it a particularly good game. But I played a shameful amount of it. Just a good way to unwind with friends, you know? Because you don't have to do that much in it. When you're playing as a survivor anyway. You don't have to do that much. But like, there was some fucking glaring flaws in that game's design in terms of just the mechanics of it, like how you could hang around indefinitely, which I think is something they've finally fixed now. Oh, that might be a new personal best. Hey! Let's see if them Dustforce servers are still online. I suppose they are, yeah, because I watch replays. Yeah! Alright! We're getting somewhere. Getting somewhere. Which killer beside Nurse made you the angriest? Nurse definitely made me the angriest when it came out. But I think it's not that bad, actually, in the grand scheme of things. I don't know which one makes me the angriest, but Mike Myers was definitely the most fun to be up against. I love, like, you're doing something and then you turn around and he's just standing there looking at you. That's a lot of fun. Oh, I suppose we should play as Dust Girl on this one. I'm not 100% sure what the differences are between these two characters. I think she falls off ceilings more quickly. Slightly more quickly. Maybe she, like, ledge vaults a little bit quicker or something as well. I think this must have been one of the levels added in the DX update, because I don't remember it that well. She falls faster. Maybe. Yeah. People use her on archives a lot as well. I know that much. Although, I think I was playing that a few minutes ago and the scoreboard wasn't dominated by her the way it is on this one. This is definitely one where you gotta know how to boost properly. Which I currently do not. I love how graceful they all look though. Yeah, I could have kept that boost going. What's your take on trading card games? I've wanted to like them, but I never have. I've actually tried a few. I mean, I would have even been tempted to try Artifact. But just because I do feel like I'm kind of lacking something like that. Something that I can just chill out with in that way. I don't know if I have a game like that. I don't have a game like that right now, I think. You know, a tactics game, no mechanical skill involved. But just the card aspect has always been a turn off for me. And yeah, I'm playing the best platformer today. I'm not shy about saying I think this is the best platformer ever made, personally. Some other ones are very good, obviously, in different ways, and that's good, but this is my favorite. I never did try Artifact, by the way. I'm just saying, like, when I see a new card game, I actually kind of take notice, because I kind of hope maybe this is the one. But the only ones I've actually played are Hearthstone and Duelist. I liked Duelist, except... Yes, I remember my problem with Duelist was that you had to pick like one build to go in, and you didn't know what your opponent would be until you started playing. Whereas I think how the game should work is that you pick a build for each potential opponent you could go up against, because the gulf between them is fucking huge. Like, some of them are based on, you know, strength in numbers, and some of them are based on, you know, it's like a Zerg Protoss sort of thing, where some of them are easy units with bulk, and you know what I'm saying. And you just walk into a game and like, no, your build just sucks for this one that you're up against, and that's it. So it doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe they've changed that by now, I don't know, but yeah, it made no sense to me that it would work that you just pick one build and you're stuck with it, because you are clearly going to have to go up against things that, depending on the opponent you go up against, it's clearly going to change a lot. You given your opinion on the Epic Store? I have. One of the few. I don't normally weigh in on industry matters, but it annoys me enough that I did. I don't like it. Yeah, it's competing by just buying out shit, which isn't really. It's not good for the consumer, and it to me it doesn't even really qualify as a competition. So, like, fair enough if they were to fund the game from beginning to end, but just buying stuff out that's already known and already I don't like it. How many hours have you put into Dustforce? Nearly 100 now. This stream will take it over the 100-hour mark. Which isn't that many in the grand scheme of things, but there's probably somebody who put 100 hours in and cleared Yata in that time, you know, so I could be doing better. That ramp is there so you can get a boost, I reckon. Could TIS 100 actually teach someone programming, or is it more like an uplink situation? What you're doing in TIS 100 is programming. Yes, it is programming. Now, it teaches you a very specific type of programming, which is mainly relevant to the game itself, but you do actually program in the game. So, all of Zachtronics games are actually programming to some degree or another. They just have different levels of abstraction to them and different quirks to the languages that they use. So yeah, you absolutely could. I will say I had done only a bare minimum of assembly programming before I played TIS 100, but yeah, it doesn't teach you it, but it makes you more comfortable with it. Like, looking at actual assembly now, I go, okay, yeah, I could do this. I get it. You know, this isn't so scary anymore. You know, it's just that you're working on a more fundamental level than you were before. And that's it. So, yeah, absolutely. Do you want to hear something spiteful, chat? Do you want to hear something spiteful? Go on. Let me know. What do you think? Should I say something weird and mean? Yes. Well, Jake, you're gonna be the victim of this. I understand where it comes from, right? The orange chat label where you say my name and it comes up with the big orange thing. But when I see that, I see them and I go, I'm tempted to ignore that one in particular, because there's other people in the chat who don't do that, and they just leave it up to chance. And it feels like when you do the orange thing, you're trying to be cheeky. You're trying to get in, and you're trying to cut the queue. You know, I don't like that. I don't like queue cutters. You know, it's not something I respect. So you gotta wait your turn, and you gotta roll the dice, because I really don't see everything. I'm not gonna, but yeah. Sometimes I see the orange things and I go, nah, not today. Not for you today. No. You know. I knew this was going to cause a whole load of orange spam. You know, I don't like being told which ones to read. No, I'm going to decide that. You wait your turn. Yeah, we've opened the box now. You ever consider making a video on Killer 7? Well, oh, now see, now it's reversed. Now I don't know if you didn't ask in orange for that reason. What have we done? Now I'm going to be perpetually doubting everything I read. I have considered doing a video on Killer 7. Yeah, I would say it's my favorite Suda 51 game. It walks the right balance for me between absolutely batshit and, you know, vaguely comprehensible, and actually has a little bit of gameplay in there that's not bad. It's not great, but like keeps you engaged. But I don't know. I feel like I would have to dig into it a lot and really, because presumably, I'll be honest and say that I don't really get it, you know. But at the same time, I believe that Suda doesn't just put a bunch of shit in for no reason. I think that he's trying to convey something. But what he was trying to convey with Killer 7, I'm sure the majority of it went over my head. So I'd have to dig into it. And it's not... I'm definitely open to doing this sort of thematic and plot-driven analysis from time to time, but it's not what gets me up in the morning, you know? Hey, I think that's a new PB. Yeah. Alright, we're doing it. We're moving up the ranks. I really like that. I assume it's still up and running, but I like the Dustforce website, I think it's called, where basically what it does, they have a thing where it tallies up all the scores that you got on. I think this is something that should have been built into the game, is an overall score for the entire game. So basically, maybe what it should do is it should exclude the difficult levels or put them on their own thing, because so many people just will never beat them. But once you SS every level in the game, then you know your time should be ranked up, and then that gives you like an overall goal to shoot for the whole game. I think that was missed. That's maybe like the biggest missed opportunity of this game, is that it doesn't just shove that number in your face and say, whittle it down. This is the real goal, is to whittle this down as small as you can. I think that would be cool. But you can actually, I believe it's on the Dustforce website, they do that there, which is cool. Let's do a different one. Let's see. Night Temple. I like this level. I can't see myself doing particularly well, but I enjoy it, so I'm just gonna play it. Gotta boost off that. Yeah, this is one of my favorite levels, I would say. I can't remember how to get through there. I think I can get him with a heavy attack and move on. You don't want to do the light attacks if you can avoid it. Have you played any sweary games? Do you like them? I played some Deadly Premonition. I never finished it. I should go back and do that. See if I can actually... Is it even possible? When I fall, I can dash. Right. Oh. Hoo-hoo. Ah. Oh, we're getting better. We're still getting better. I think, yeah, you want a downward dash there. That's okay. Great. Well, ideally I want to hit that with a heavy and not. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. If I did that and just did the rest of the level exactly the way I've done it before, that would be a new best. So let's try that. when you get stuck on making a video, how do you approach fixing it, or do you find yourself abandoning them more than fixing them? I would say I fix them more than I abandon, but I do abandon. Like, it's a strategy, it's a tool. I did it today and I feel good about it. Yeah, it's, you got to be wary of the sunk cost fallacy because it's a big one. But yeah, sometimes it's okay to just walk away from things, but other times you get a sense that there's, you know, basically what I do is I say to myself, is there enough here? You know, like, if I could just fill this video out with a little bit more, would I be happy with it? Would I be okay to put it up and go, yeah? And if so, then I try not to give up on it, you know? Yeah, I like the starry sky backgrounds myself. Do you like the movie Gremlins? I haven't seen it in a very long time. I probably would like it though, yeah. You know, here's the problem. Here's the problem with Gremlins though, right? Where's Mecha? I need to give him a ring. You know the problem with Gremlins is they say no food after midnight, right? But what does that mean? Like, first of all, does that factor in daylight savings time or what, right? And if not, then when does it stop being after midnight? When does, you know, is this addressed in the film? Because I can't remember. So that's a problem. I actually kind of want to watch the film to see if that's addressed now, you know? But these kinds of, oh, it's until the sun is up. All right, never mind. All right, Gremlins critique cancelled. Never mind. It's done. No, but seriously, it is like a midnight cutoff. I'm quoting Gremlins too. Apparently, I need to watch Gremlins. I need to watch Gremlins. Maybe this film is more intelligent than I've is it? I actually want to watch Gremlins too now. I want to watch them now. Ah, the sequel touches on those supposed plot holes. That's pretty cool. I don't remember that. I probably watched it when I was younger, but I don't remember it. All I remember is there's some scene with a microwave where things go a bit crazy. It basically tells you not to worry about it. Yeah, well, that's alright as well. Obviously, just to be clear, because I know sarcasm and satire is sometimes lost on the internet. It was all a ruse. I rused you. I actually don't care about the midnight rule in Gremlins, believe it or not. Am I making a noise on the microphone? Because the cable is there's cables wrapped around me. Right, let's see. I was merely pretending, yes. Just been more decisive there. I have a bad habit of not playing out levels when I know they've gone bad, so I'm gonna get over that. So if I miss dust, don't worry. I noticed. I'm watching it. I want to get all the dust. My jump was gone. I'm gonna give an orange answer this time. Do you think it's time to announce new consoles? I think that's gonna happen soon, yeah. I reckon we'll see the PS5 next year. And maybe new Xbox could start of, or the end of this year would be the earliest reasonable time frame for that, I think. Could happen. Maybe more likely March next year. Glad I decided to play this level. This is one of the more late game ones, so maybe I shouldn't have jumped into it when I'm still figuring it out, but I'm enjoying doing that because I know I wouldn't have done that before. I went back and I played a bunch of levels when I was, you know, just getting into this game, but I was definitely more concerned with just getting the SS and moving on. I didn't clean up that many or delve that much into like cancelling your heavy attacks by dashing and shit like that, so I should just do a heavy on him. I don't know why I keep doing that. I can't remember how to do that. I'm gonna watch my own replay. Watch my own one, so I'm not cheating. What made you come back to this game? I just wanted to play it. I have a lot of games that I want to play over and over again, and I never get the chance. And just I was feeling like I lifted a weight earlier, and yeah, I feel relaxed, and I want to relax for a little while. So, like I said, it's just the mood that I'm in. Right now, I would just rather play something and just see how much better I can do with it. Which, that's pretty smooth there, what I did there with the light attacks, because you could get them by rolling over them physically. It's always better to avoid doing that if you can. That jump is a lot harder than it looks, as you will see when I fail it later. This bit's not going to be smooth though. Could be worse, but yeah, that's not good. We'll try and do that if we can. The problem is when you get to this point, you're just like, oh shit, I have an actual attempt now. I must remember to use the special there, because I might have forgot if I had gotten that far in an actual run. Realistically, there's a lot of time for me to save here, but I don't know how much I'll be able to do today. So, I forgot I was supposed to be getting a strategy for that bit. I'm always glad to see Wonderful 101 love. It's nice. Got some Demon Souls love today as well, which was nice. Yeah, there's been you know, obviously there was the Rain World love recently, but like there's been people coming back to me with stuff like Cooler World and, you know, stuff as well. So it's nice. It's nice to know that the recommendation videos still get watched and people still occasionally go out and go, yeah, that video, Matthew, that game Matthew talked about a couple of years ago, maybe I'll give that one a go and see. It's pretty cool. So it's like that. So I can do light and then maybe a heavy. What was the most disappointed you've ever been in a game? I have very cliche answers to that, you know, it's like Spore or Devil May Cry 2. I think I've wobbled back and forth on this because I can't actually remember how I really responded to Spore in the beginning. I think I was more okay with it than most people. But, yeah, I know people talk about... People kind of logically understand that Devil May Cry 2 was a big disappointment, you know. But try to actually imagine putting yourself back in that position when Devil May Cry 1 came out and kind of blew the lid open on this whole 3D action thing. And then 2 comes along. 3 doesn't exist. 3 is not a notion. It's not even known if Devil May Cry 3 will ever happen. It's not even known if any other action game will even attempt to walk in Devil May Cry's footsteps, right? And Devil May Cry 2 comes out. Yeah. So... I was very disappointed. Actually, another big one for me was Wipeout Fusion, I have to say. That disappointed me quite a lot. It was because I was looking forward to that one, and just it felt uncanny immediately as soon as I turned it on, you know? Oh, Zero Time Dilemma. Maybe that one wins because, yeah, I think I might have repressed that one. That was bad. It was bad. I prefer not to talk about that one, so maybe that one wins. Yeah. That was bad. I'm sorry to say. Hey! Getting some Demon Souls and Devil May Cry. That's good. I need to be using light attacks there. There. That was so much easier. Okay. Alright. Alright, we're getting somewhere now. I hope you enjoy the Breath of the Wild thing when you get around to it. And I hope you enjoy the game itself, obviously, as well. How do you compare this game to Celeste? They're very different. They're very, very different. I think Celeste is a good game as well. It's just I think this one is just more mechanically complex, and well, this one is undoubtedly more mechanically complex in terms of what your character can do, you know? And that appeals to me more than what Celeste was going for, personally. Celeste is good, but there's parts of Dustforce has a way of, I think, and I know there's at least one person out there who agrees, Dustforce has a way of kind of like ruining other platformers for you. One thing I never mentioned in my recommendation script, like I could definitely talk about this game a lot more in depth than I did in the recommendation video, because they're just recommendation videos, you know? I think people tend to forget that. Like, I got some criticism for the Zachtronics one, and I will say flat out, I don't want to watch my Zachtronics recommendation video, but that's because it's not for me, because I've already played them, you know? It's for the person who looks at them and goes, I could never do this. And you gotta talk to them and say, look, here's what the tutorial looks like, you know? So I hope that helps someone. I don't know. Maybe it was the wrong approach. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. But one thing that Dustforce seems to deliberately do, anyway, it seems deliberate to me, is that there's absolutely no timed elements in it. There's only enemies that move around very slightly, but none of the levels have like what you call cycles. You know, like in a speedrunners would call them cycles. You know, you hit a certain cycle or whatever and you get through. And when I played Celeste, that was the part that aggravated me the most, was the timed elements. Like, my least favorite chapter of Celeste is the hotel one, because it's got all the moving parts and you have to wait, you have to watch them all, and like there's definitely skill involved in that, but you know, I prefer Dustforce, where it's just all go, and the challenge is just how well you can navigate the environment, you know? It feels more pure to me, I suppose, is what I'm saying. You've got N++ as well, or just N, which is arguably more pure than Dustforce, because it only has one button, I think. I should give that game more time as well. But I think for me, Dustforce hits the right sort of middle ground. Hey, yeah, Space Game is great. Jailbreaking consoles for homebrew? Well, people are going to do it. I don't think there should be anything illegal about modifying a console that you own. I mean, disregarding piracy or whatever, you know. I don't know the legality of any of this stuff. I don't do it myself, but I believe it's kind of illegal in some cases to install mods on your console and shit, and there's no way that should be the case. So, Rifter platformer? No, I haven't. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is probably your favorite platformer. It's a good choice. Yeah, it's a good choice for favorite platformer. I can't argue with it, really. Dustforce is interesting in the way that it feels very strange when you first start playing it, but then after a while you come to appreciate it. Any other games like Dustforce where they ruin their genres for you? I'm definitely having trouble, and I see myself continuing to have trouble with games that are going for, I don't know what best way to describe it, but like an experiential games. As soon as I played Rain World, it was like, this is the bar now and you gotta get over it, and most games are not gonna reach the bar. They're not gonna there's definitely there's some others that maybe I shouldn't name. I'm gonna say that the Wonderful 101, I would say, affected the way I think about action games quite heavily, and I think that it. How do I put this? I just think it's a shame more people haven't had a chance to play it. Let me put it that way, because yeah, I feel like it deserves to be something that people point to. You know, like what I said about the camera in the God of War video. That's just like, it's a good example. I know it's like, oh, Matthew, he likes the Wonderful 101, so he's going to want to talk about it. No, because I never talked about the Wonderful 101 in a main channel video until then, which was like 5 years later. I brought it up because it was the right, you know, it was the ideal camera system for a 3D action game for me. Is that's how you represent it. And yeah, there's other things about that game as well that I think people don't really appreciate, which maybe I'll get another chance to talk about them someday. Hopefully. It's not going to be here now, but yeah, there's other, when I say, you know, games ruin other games, like, I don't really mean that, but you know, there's definitely some games where when you play them you just think, ooh, this is something that's going in my mind, and it's going to stay in my mind, and I can't help but come back to it and think about it when I see something similar, you know? I don't know why, but my nose is very itchy right now, which is a shame. Like, as soon as I started streaming, I can't see. Oh, message retracted. Never mind. Yes, well, I will say that some of the comments have. It's, yeah, I feel a little less alone seeing some of the comments in the chat about the Wonderful 101. Yeah. I don't know. See, it's always tempting to just start talking about things and just go off the cuff, but I feel like it's better when I try and put something together and really At what point did Rain World click with you? I would say it clicked I would say it clicked in an area. I don't know how to describe the area. Actually, it probably clicked before then. Yeah, I don't really have any way of describing this specific area that it clicked with me, but without maybe hinting at more than I should about things. Yeah, I fear even if the Wonderful 101 was played by more people, very few would get it. I agree, but I think then at least that it would be a baseline I could point to more easily, you know? And yeah. Because that's the real problem, is just that you can't, like, it's hard to even point at the Wonderful 101 and say, look at this. You know, do you get it now? Do you get this? Do you understand what was happening here? Like, because people haven't played it, you know? It's frustrating because, like, that was one of the problems I had with the Sekiro video is one of the problems I had with the Sekiro video is A, I don't want to spoil other games, and B, I don't even know if I would have brought this up, but there's things about Sekiro where I could make a comparison to other games, but it would involve spoiling those other games, and I don't really want to do that. And, you know, yeah, it's tough when you're not working from the same baseline as other people, but you have to try and convey those things to them anyway, you know? can be tough. I do have a Patreon. Yes. I don't offer any rewards though, unfortunately. So I'm still open to ideas for what I can do to make more money, because I like money. I would like to make money, but I have very specific ways that I want to go about it, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know what to do with the Patreon page. Because I appreciate the support I get, but I don't know how to reward that other than just making stuff without excluding people. You know, I don't want to exclude anyone. The caps lock is a bit extreme, but yeah, I was kind of surprised by how bad Sekiro's camera is after all this time. It's not... See, I don't want to talk about the game too much, but I will say, like, part of it is the camera, and part of it is just that they haven't bothered to adapt to the camera, you know? And I want to reiterate, I didn't find the game hard, but... for example, placing the elite guy in that well that you start off in, like, what were they thinking? You know, it's just dumb. I mean, it only took me 2 attempts or something. So again, because people seem to have a very hard time understanding this, when you make a complaint about something that makes a game challenging or annoying, it doesn't always mean about difficulty. I didn't have a difficult time with Sekiro, but that's just dumb. Like, placing him in such a small area, and when they place enemies on slanted things as well, and sometimes their moves just don't behave the way you would think they should, or you miss because of the slant. They make certain encounters way more frustrating than they need to be. Yeah, I'm getting greedy here because I want to try and hit that lower. I don't know what they are, the leaf guys. I want to hit that lower one with a heavy attack and just kill my momentum there. And because I want to, if I'm playing it, I might as well try and get a better time, significantly better time. This would already save time, but I want to do a little better than that if I can. Hopefully these skills will transfer to other levels somewhat. When are we getting the Guilty Gear stream? That's one of the ones I want to play, yeah. I feel like I've fucking already missed the boat on Exerd, and I'm gonna have to get the next one or a different fighting game or something. I can't imagine, because the community was already pretty dead when I played it online like a year ago. I played with some guy and I think he knew who I was, and he gave me pointers and stuff, and that was a nice experience. I like the lobby system that they have going for it. Kind of fosters a slight little community mentality to it, which is nice. Where are you from anyway? Ireland. Ireland. Are you one to read manga, Matt? Yes, occasionally. I actually read some the other day. We watched the Promised Neverland anime, which you might not want to read the chat if you're interested in this. I would recommend it. So I went and read the manga then after we watched it because I enjoyed it. I also tried Fire Punch finally because somebody recommended that to me ages ago, and I'm sorry to say I didn't get on with it. I really wish I had, but yeah, the character with the camera really killed it for me. I realized that it took some of the edge off, but I was okay with that edge, and I just, yeah, I'm fully caught up on Promised Neverland, the manga. I'm fully caught up on it, but yeah, Fire Punch is just this insanely edgy premise, and I was down for that. And then the I don't know what the name of the character is, but the character with the camera came in, and it just took me out of it too much. I started JoJo. I finished chapter 1 of JoJo, and I haven't gone back to it since. Not that I disliked it or anything, just, yeah. I could read more of it. I'm not interested in Made in Abyss. I don't know. Doesn't really... Maybe it's worth just touching the wall at the very end. Have you read any horror manga? I've read a bunch of Junji Ito stuff, yeah. I can't really remember them now though, except the most famous one, the Amigara Fault. Amigara, is it? I think it's Amigara. Amigara, maybe. Yeah, it's great. He does great horror, you know? Yeah, the dir at the end. I agree that the first part of Neverland is the strongest part, and I do wish they had maintained that level of quality, but I don't think the rest of it is bad by any means. It's still pretty good. It's, you know, yeah, I would say it's still pretty good. It's like anything, I suppose I shouldn't say any more than that. Yeah. Thoughts on Enter the Gungeon? It's nice and solid, and I think my complaints would be just pretty basic stuff. Like, it didn't have any synergies when I played it. I think that they basically acknowledged that was a problem and started trying to correct it with patches and stuff, so maybe it's better now. Personally, probably the biggest thing that bugs me about Gungeon is the randomization on the spread. I think that feels pretty bad. The way your bullets will go off at slightly different angles. And I know it's different for different weapons, and some weapons are more or less, but that's not good for me. It's kind of almost even worse than Isaac in a way. Like, I think Isaac feels... My biggest problem with Isaac is just how it's not intrinsically fun to control at all until you start getting a couple upgrades. But even then, like, at least you know exactly where a bullet is going to go and stuff like that, you know? Small devs growing larger after successful 2D games. Well, yeah, Jonathan Blow already did that. The Hitbox team, or at least some of them anyway, who worked on Dustforce, are working on a 3D game called Spire. There hasn't been any news on it in a while, but I'm rooting for them because it sounds like a good concept, and Dustforce is a really good game. So, yeah, I would like to see more developers move into 3D development, as long as they can do it well. But maybe 2D is better for starting out for most, and then kind of go from there. But I have no problem with 2D games. I just think that it would be nice to get more smaller 3D games, because we get fewer of those compared to the 2D ones, you know. So, or at least the 3D ones, the low budget 3D ones tend to be of a certain type, like the Journey-ish type, I think, you know. Like, I never played it, but that game Rime, You know, like the eco type. Yeah. Whereas I'd like to see more 3D games that are very gameplay orientated. You know, I suppose there is some of those with the first person stuff like Dusk and Medieval and all that, you know. So yeah, maybe I'm just not aware of more stuff going on in that sphere. Inertia. I'll take a look at it. Since you're mentioning it in the same breath as Next Machina, I'll take a look at it. I think maybe you recommended that to me before. It sounds vaguely familiar, but I'm not sure I looked into it, so apologies for that. That's the case. I haven't played Risk of Rain 2. No, I barely played Risk of Rain 1. I mean, maybe an hour's worth of it. So I haven't. He's been recommending it for a while, has he? Inertia. It sounds familiar. Sounds vaguely familiar. I'm sorry. I genuinely missed the messages. I genuinely didn't see them. Okay, so your spamming paid off in the end, I suppose. But yeah, I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it. I haven't watched the DMC anime. No, I was tempted to as research, but yeah, even I have my limits. No, I haven't watched it. I can't imagine it's very good. So did I get any overzealous new God of War fans ranting on Twitter after the vid? No, not that I can remember. I haven't even got to the hard part of this level yet. The hard part is the very end. Are you excited for Shin Megami Tensei 5? I'm looking forward to it, but I have my concerns after Apocalypse. You know, I don't think Apocalypse is bad. Arguably the best gameplay in the series. Almost certainly the best gameplay in the series, you know, but the actual story didn't inspire a lot of confidence in me, so the problem is just that I think, you know, you're allowed diverge, obviously, right? When you're making, like, I don't want every Shin Megami Tensei game to play into the Shin Megami Tensei formula. I don't want that, but Atlas already have a different formula, you know, in Persona, and they already have that formula, right? So I don't need anything more in that formula from that company because they already have it. So if you're going to change the formula, change it to something different, you know? Yeah, Strange Journey does not have the best gameplay. Even if only just because of the fucking way the main character works. No way. I had a very hard time with that game because I hate using items in JRPGs. Because most JRPGs are too easy if you just spam items whenever you can. So I try to avoid using them. Well, like, your character in Strange Journey does very little without items, you know? Should let me know if this level is getting too boring for you. I could play something else now. I'd rather just stick with this one. I'm perfectly fine slamming my head against this wall over and over again. It might have been a bit ambitious to take this one on when I'm lacking experience. Ah! What I should do, actually, I should turn the checkpoints back on. I'll stick with this one for a while. And, stick to it, okay. I'll turn checkpoints back on and, I'll just try and get a good strategy for the stuff that I'm fucking up, because once I get this part now, I should be able to do it. Yeah, the Bayonetta stream is probably the longest I've ever done anything over and over again on a single stream. I think I was on an Alfheim for over an hour one time. I didn't actually get stuck in that Crash game for too long, I don't think. I was just fed up with it. Ah. I like Cuphead, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what they have in store for the DLC. Yeah, this bit's hard because it's very easy to jump too late and actually accidentally use up your... Let's see, how can I do this? No. I've talked about The Last Guardian a bit on other streams, and yeah, I like it. Just, that's it, I suppose. I like it. Yeah, I could get a new record just by doing this slightly more smoothly, but Oh, 50 lives on the bridge level, yeah. Yeah. I cleared it first try. Was it first try on the other version? I deserved a chicken biscuit. I certainly did. See, even that's just a little bit better because I'm kind of falling off it rather than sliding all the fucking way down the thing. Do you believe in any objective qualities that can be measured in video games? Yeah, there's a lot. I don't think that you can assess a game entirely based on objective things, but like one thing I put a lot of effort into is not getting stuff wrong, and for there to be a wrong answer, there has to be a right answer, you know? Like, what was it? I said you couldn't go to Lake Hylia at the start of Ocarina of Time or something, and I forgot there's a ladder on the side. So that was wrong. So that's objectively incorrect, you know? But sometimes the audience is objectively incorrect about things, you know? Like, I got a lot of comments on that video saying that Epona is mandatory for completion, but that's not true either. Would anyone care about Cuphead if it wasn't for the art? I think so. I think it's still actually a good game. Yeah. What was your favorite platformer before you played Dustforce? Good question. I'm not sure. Probably have to go with one of the Mario games, you know, like Mario 64 or Sunshine or something like that, or even just World or 3 or something. I've played Super Mario Bros. 3 a lot. It's a game I go to if I just want to turn my brain off and I don't know what to play. I am quite likely to just put in Super Mario Bros. 3, but I don't know, I get torn. Sometimes I think 3 is better than World, but other times, I don't know. 3 has too many auto-scrollers. That's the big weakness with 3. Yeah, put me on team anti-button prompts. I cannot fucking believe they are still in the game. I don't know what does be going through people's heads sometimes. How can you think that's alright, you know? I don't know. It doesn't, I agree, it doesn't ruin the game by any means, but like considering what a small thing it is and what a big impact it has on the game for how small it is and how easy it should be to just have an option to switch them off. Oh, it's bad. Very bad. In terms of how simple something would be to fix versus how detrimental it is, that's got to be high on the list, those button prompts. I think maybe I should play a different level for a while. This bit's not going as smoothly as I hoped it would. I kind of would put action platformers into their own category, but I mean, there's a case to be made that Dustforce actually is an action platformer as well, because you have a weapon, you know. You are expected to kill things with it. Well, not kill them, but you know. Yeah, I haven't a hope of doing this without practice. Oh. No, that was alright. What gamepad do you use on PC? It depends on the game. Dustforce, I use the D-pad, so I'm using the PS4 controller. Other times I use an Xbox One controller that I have. I don't own an Xbox, but I got the controller for PC because it has good compatibility, although Steam has since added a bunch of controller compatibility stuff. I feel like I'm getting sick right now. Yeah. A bit stuffy all of a sudden. Need to dust my room. Need to get some real Dustforce happening. Yeah, I wouldn't draw direct comparisons to Castlevania or the like either, personally, but I could kind of see it. Can kind of see it. I think you certainly could make a game somewhat like Castlevania with mechanics very similar to this, and that might be a good thing, you know? I don't know if I'd say I'm a fan of the Donkey Kong Country series. I like them, but not as much as most people, I think. They're still very good, or at least 2 and Tropical Freeze, I would say, are particularly good. But yeah, I don't think I like them as much as most people. Again, not saying they're bad by any means. I'm just trying to frame how highly I think of them. At least I'm having an easy time with that jump. That's something. Has the Mega SG given you any ideas for new videos? Some retro goodness? It has. It has actually. There was already a Mega Drive game I wanted to cover, and thanks to the Mega SG I'll be able to get good footage of it. So you'll hopefully see that in the not too distant future. And I'm thinking of maybe another thing as well. We'll see though, it's all up in the air until it's actually done, so try not to get your hopes up. This is just between you and me stream, right? This is stream knowledge. New GDC talk by the guy pushing for emulation and preservation. I haven't, no. There was a GDC talk a few years back about emulation, though. From, I think it was one of the guys behind the Mega Man Legacy, the first collection. That was pretty good. Forget what the gist of it was. Obviously, having been in the midst of that, he knows a lot more up front than I do, but I do remember kind of disagreeing with him about something. But yeah, interesting perspective anyway. I should watch that one, because that's a topic I'm interested in, so I'll give it a look. Oh, it's the same guy. Yeah, I'll give that a look then, yeah. I don't know if I quite agreed with his conclusions though. I was kind of like nodding along with everything, and then I don't know. Because I remember it was in my mind when I was making the Devil May Cry commentary. That was when I binged a bunch of GDC talks. And the Skullgirls animation one was useful. And I remember watching that emulation one and it kind of informing a little bit of what I said. But what I said was actually not in agreement with what he was saying, I think. And clearly, you know, he's in the midst of it, so it probably wasn't something I disagreed with easily, but yeah. But I absolutely like. I think they did a great job with that port, and I liked that the fact that they preserved the slowdown in it. Obviously, it would be nice to have versions of Mega Man that don't slow down at all. But in terms of preservation, I think that actually is important, especially because in some games the slowdown was actually quite I don't know if crucial is the right word, but sometimes it could actually be intentional even. You know, you don't even know. Because they might have a big explosion where you kill an enemy and it explodes, and it's slowing down as like part of what makes it cool. And then there's also shoot 'em ups. If you play a shoot 'em up, I think in particular, like if you play Gradius on the NES, or was it the SNES version I was playing on the? Yeah, I think I was playing the SNES version on the Super NT, and I remember thinking to myself, if I played this on an emulator and it ran really fast, you know, then you would be missing out, because you kind of, sometimes it's advantageous to create chaos on screen because it slows things down, you know? And that's the way the developers actually played the game, you know? That was the game they made. So you can argue all day whether it's better or worse, but for preservation, it's important to have that version preserved, you know? Yes, Gradius on the SNES. Once you get all your options, you fucking permanently slow that game down. So, yeah, that's. But that's, you know, when the developers were playing it, that's what they played. That is what they played. So, yeah, I suppose I should look into that, you know, whether it's an arcade port and things like that. You know, that's important as well. Because in that case, the arcade port probably is the one that's just better and is what the original developers were working on. But I think it remains a valid point anyway. I can see why they didn't keep the button holding in The Last Guardian, because you're expected to hang on for much longer periods of time. But yeah, personally I feel the game would probably be better that way. Because there's something, and I assume it was intentional, I don't know, but there's something, some kind of mimicry in holding a shoulder button on the controller and actually gripping a surface in a game, you know? That those two actions kind of mimic each other in a way that works with your brain. Your brain likes it. So, at least my brain does anyway. Should have done a little jump there. If you miss dirt, you don't get an SS rank at the end. You have to get all the dirt to get the SS rank, which is what people compete on. The leaderboard prioritizes the SS rank above everything else. So if you want to get the top score, you have to have it. DualShock 4 has less input lag over Bluetooth than wired. That's interesting. I don't have any Bluetooth on the PC though. Oh, didn't think I was going to make that one. We're getting here a lot more consistently now. Somebody asked me if I played Brothers. I have, but it didn't click with me as much as I wanted to. But yeah, that's a good example of the control scheme kind of being used as part of the actual game in an interesting way. But I like the concept a lot. Just for some reason it just didn't grab me as much as I wish it had. But I don't really have any specific problems with it that I could nail down or anything, so it's hard to feel too bad about it. I still feel like they put together a good little game, you know? Any game you want to play but can't due to the difficulty of obtaining the means to play it. I would like to play... Oh, excuse me. I haven't... I haven't really looked into it, but I'm of the understanding that Saturn emulation is quite poor. And I haven't played... I don't think I've ever played a Saturn game in my life, actually. I've played on like virtually every other console I can think of, but I'm not sure I've ever played a Saturn game. So, yeah, I would like for some kind of... If I had to choose what analog would come out with next, it might be a Saturn. Although ideally it would be like a Saturn PlayStation hybrid, since they both use discs, you know? I don't know if they're going to give us, if they would give us that, or if that's even possible. I don't know if it's too complex or what to do through FPGA, but that would be high on my list. Even though I can't think of many games that I would really want to play other than Panzer Dragoon. That's a Saturn game, isn't it? I'd like to play Panzer Dragoon. There's also one, I think it's the kind of game I would only play for like an hour and go, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. There's one, I was looking at Saturn games to see if there's anything I've really missed out on. There's one mech game, I don't know, maybe is it Burning Rangers? There's one mech game that you play with and like you play it and your character comes up in like a little anime square sometimes. They have a somebody will know what I mean. If you put mech game anime into YouTube, it'll probably come up. But yeah, you're in a mech, and then sometimes when you do something, yeah, the one with the girl, they're anime girls, of course they are. Yeah, an anime girl kind of comes up on the left, and yeah, and they say something, yeah, like. But I like the anime, the little anime portrait. I think that's pretty cool, you know. So that's one I'd like to play. I don't know what else I'd like to play on the system, but that definitely strikes me as something that I feel like I can't do right now. I should look into it, but it's my understanding that Saturn emulation is not in a good place right now. I also never owned a Dreamcast, and I'd like to play those. I got a chance to briefly play some of them, but not as much as I would have liked, you know. Then again, some of the Dreamcast stuff is on PC, and I'm sure that the Dreamcast versions are like a little bit better, a little bit more smooth or whatever. But like you can buy Crazy Taxi on Steam, you know. So there is that at least. I haven't played Earth Defense Force. No, I know a lot of people like it, but need to get around to Ace Combat. I think that's, if I'm going to give a new series a try, that might be the next one. Oh, my neck's killing me. I need to get a new chair. My chair has been broken for ages. No, the game I'm thinking of on the Saturn isn't a treasure game. I played Jet Set Radio on Steam, yeah. I played Crazy Taxi as well. So that's I feel like those are probably the two Dreamcast games I would like the most, and I've crossed them off my list. So that's why I'm not as eager to get a Dreamcast. My neck is killing me. How long do you play games every day? Not nearly as much as you would think. Generally, I'm spending time with document editor open. I'm just sitting there going, well, what am I going to say now? What am I going to say now, and how am I going to say it? That's my life. Bulk slash. Yes, that sounds right. That sounds right. But yeah, it's got a nice style to it. Like, I think your mech is a sprite, which doesn't look that great, but I like the environment. It's crossed to the point where it almost looks good again. It's just these flat surfaces with really pixelated textures, but compared to some early 3D stuff, that kind of looks good, you know? So, like I said, I would probably play it for an hour and go, yeah, that's cool, and I never want to play again. But I don't like having games that I can't play, you know? Long attack on that guy. Do you find it harder to write scripts now than you used to in the past? Yeah, because I don't like to repeat myself, so you know, you're whittling down the possibilities every time you make a new one, and I have higher standards now. I'm sure there's some people who prefer my older videos, but I'm not one of them. I prefer my newer videos. I try to make every new video as good as I can and continue to evolve, and it's definitely gotten increasingly hard over the years. That's part of the problem that I have right now, definitely. I mean, I've been tempted to just set up a secondary channel where I just give off-the-cuff reviews for stuff. Just get views for a change, you know? Because my thinking on this is that that stuff is going to exist whether I do it or not. And I think that's my retirement plan for the channel, is just to do that and see if I can get people watching that instead. Because that stuff is going to exist whether I do it or not, so it might as well be me doing it. You know? That's my take on it anyway. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. You probably just go, yeah, do it. But I don't want to give up the high effort stuff just yet. And I feel like once I go into that low effort thing, I'm not coming back out. So it's like, it's yeah. Yeah, do it. Yeah, do it. Matty-meiosis. It's a good one. What was the actual Matty-mitosis? Yeah. Could just call it that. You gotta do what you gotta do. I value the high stuff as well, but like, I've only got so much of that in me, you know? I don't know when it's gonna end, but it's not gonna go forever. And I haven't had nearly the time that I would like to actually work on the game myself. The only way I'm gonna do that is if I transition to doing lower effort stuff. But, I still have at least a few high effort things I wanna put out. But like, I'm always thinking, I'm always going to myself, how can I take this simple idea and just make it really hard? Like, when I was saying, I said in the God of War review that, you know, something being difficult to do doesn't make it better, and I was as much speaking to myself as I was to Sony Santa Monica, because it's like, that's something I'm guilty of, definitely. But then I do think it often pays off. Like, for example, I could have just, for the Mega Micro videos, I could have gone, hey everyone, we're gonna do mini video month where I put out, 9 little videos and enjoy, and then you get 9 little videos, and I get like probably more than 9 times the amount of views, and because that Bloodborne one single-handedly would have gotten 100,000 views by itself, I reckon, probably more than that, and then just be like, yeah, and stick an ad on every one of them and just rake it in. But I was just like, I just had an idea where it was like, well, what if I put these together? Isn't that better? And then once I know, yes, actually, I do think that's better, I can't go back then, I can't go back. I had the same problem recently with there's a review I was working on, and now I straight up don't know if I'm going to do it, because I came up with an idea for it. I was like, here's something I've never done before, and it makes sense for this video, and I think it would be cool. And now I'm just like, well, now I don't want to review this game anymore, because either I put in the effort to do the new thing, which is going to be hard, or I just don't review the game, because I don't want to put it out and know that I could have done a lot better, I think a lot of people maybe will hate what I want to do with it, but I think it's a really interesting idea that I want to pursue. Man, it's work, it's a lot of effort, and it would be nice to just not do that. So it's gonna happen sooner or later. I'm not committing to doing higher effort stuff for forever. This hasn't been my most consistent year. Last year was very consistent. Good year, yes. I mean, if you don't like Zachtronics, then you are kind of shit out of luck for a lot of the year, but I'm happy with how that Zachtronics review series turned out. I'm a little frustrated that this year hasn't been as consistent, but like I said on the Patreon post, it has been the plan for this year that there be longer videos and less of them. That's just how it turned out. The next one will probably be, if the next one turns out to be what I think it's going to be, then it's probably going to be pretty short. 10-15 minutes max, I would say. I could probably just make that one now. The only problem is I got distracted by the Sekiro thing and I kind of lost momentum on it. And now I gotta go back and re-examine if I'm still happy with it. I should just put it out when I was happy with it, I probably am still happy with it though. It's interesting. It's interesting enough to make, and that's the barrier, I would love to hear more commentaries personally. Well, you're in luck. Hopefully. I can't commit, but I'm hoping to do 2 this year. I just can't commit to them until they cross a threshold of completeness. One of them I haven't even really started on, except for just really digging into the game and making sure that I can do it justice, which I think I can now. But I am working on one. I recorded the footage for my next commentary back in January of 2017, would you believe? And I've just been continually distracted by other stuff. But I've decided enough is enough. I need to do this thing, so I'm going to do it. That's the only really tricky part of that spiky bit, so I just gotta be careful of that. It's not the Wonderful 101. How do I work? Well, first I just play something and I see if it captures me in some way. Do I have a thought about this that I haven't expressed that I think it would be interesting? And then from there I write some notes, or I just start writing a video straight off the bat. And just go. And then I tailor the process sometimes depending on the video. Like, I don't normally make notes when I play, but I did a little bit when I was doing Breath of the Wild, just because it's such I had to record so much footage that, you know, going through all of that would be a nightmare, and I did have to go through it for a lot of it. But yeah, but I thankfully I saved myself some work by making notes at the right time about when certain things happened and things like that. You know, if an interesting event happened and stuff. I'm very happy with the editing in that Breath of the Wild video. I know it's not a good form to pat yourself on the back, but I really like how a lot of them clips came together. See, I don't know how much people care about these things. Like, I talked about it before in the past with the Cooler World one, the way so many of them are match cuts. There's a couple of nice match cuts in the Breath of the Wild review that are nice. I think maybe the coolest one is there's a bit where I can't remember what the first clip is, but there's a bit where I transition to me showing off, talking about I wish that bows and shields would auto-equip when one breaks, and there's a clip where I try to pull out a bow and Link does the I don't have a bow animation, and it happens to line up really well with the clip before it, and then it's just a really good clip in and of itself because it visually demonstrates the point, you know. And I was really happy with that. There's some of them. It's just some of them were just happenstance that I happened to be like trawling around in the footage and I came across one and I was like, yeah, oh, that works, you know, that lines up really well. That's nice. It's nice when that happens. So just start writing, and then when I'm happy with what I've written, then I make a video. Thanks, Talbot. That's nice. Have you ever thought about becoming a video editor? You know, I did for a while when I first got into this, but I don't actually enjoy the editing process. I hold myself to what I hope is a high standard, but it's one of my least favorite parts of the process. I think I have been having more fun with it lately, actually, and I think maybe that shows in the video. I've been kind of like, I think there was a period maybe after the Devil May Cry video where I went like, I didn't put as much effort into the editing as I could have. Like, I don't think any of it's bad, but I kind of neglected that part a little bit, in that I was more willing to say, okay, that's okay, I just want to get the video out. Whereas now, because for me, the scripting is by far the most time consuming part. The scripting is by far the most time consuming part. So when I get to the video editing part, it's like, I just want to get this over with. I want to get this over with. I want to get it out. People are waiting. I want to have it done and relax, you know, get the one day of relaxation that I really feel when a video is done. I sit down and I go, it's done. And I relax, you know. Whereas lately I've been thinking to myself, just give yourself an extra day. Don't, you know, find the cut, you know. Go back and look and see if is there any footage that you're not happy with, and really go for it. Which video do you most regret or desire to rewrite if you could? I talked about this on stream before, and I said that I think my Pac-Man video is the one that I most disagree with nowadays. But actually, since then I went back and watched it, and I think everything I've said is technically correct in that video. But that doesn't necessarily make it a good video, because it doesn't really convey the point as well as it could. But I do think actually my conclusions are technically correct. which doesn't mean that they're really correct for human beings, but just like they're correct on the kind of infinite time scale sort of yes, everything will happen in every single possible universe sort of, thing. I think in that case the video is technically correct, but yeah, just like that's one of my problems, is that I'm willing sometimes to settle for being technically correct and not as clear as I could be, which is something that I've tried to fix in the years since the Pac-Man video, because I recognized that as a flaw in the Pac-Man video not too long after I put it up. But like I said, that challenge should be dynamic, and what I mean by that is that it should be deterministic, but not like, if you want to make it competitive, deterministic but not so simple to game like Pac-Man. Not, Pac-Man's problem is just that there's not enough states for you to be in. The skill ceiling isn't high enough. But like when the skill ceiling hits a certain point, nobody will ever reach it. Like, even bad example, but my mind always goes to it. So the Wonderful 101, you don't play it to shoot for high scores, but nobody will ever hit the skill ceiling on it. It's not possible. It's just not possible because of the way the weapon drawing mechanic works. I don't think it's humanly possible to hit the skill ceiling on that game. So when you get to that point, then the stuff that I'm talking about in the Pac-Man video ceases to matter. But I never made that clear in the Pac-Man video, So that's a problem. I'm right, but not by your mortal human standards. Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, everybody's gonna have their different takes on what they enjoy or what they don't enjoy. Like, and it's changed for me over the years, because when I started, I really did love the video editing process more than any other part. Now it's not so much, but audio has always been my least favorite and is still my least favorite part. I hate recording the audio. I hate oh, excuse me. Hate recording the audio. I hate editing it. It's by far the worst part for me. Would you watch a Wonderful 101 TAS? Yes, I would. But I suppose a TAS would hit the skill ceiling by definition, though. Any tool-assisted speedrun that implements or inputs something on every possible frame will have hit the skill ceiling, I suppose. But yeah. I need a drink. Bear with me a second. I'll be back in a sec. Trying not to pull out any cords. I'd play Wizard 1-on-1. Sounds like a fun game. Oh my god, my neck is killing me. I'm gonna take a break for a sec. How y'all doing? You all good? I was eating a lemon puff. You know what lemon puffs are? Do they have them elsewhere? It's a little lemony biscuit. It's nice. I like lemon. Lemon is one of my favorite flavors. I'm a very sour man. Thanks for that, JV. Appreciate it. Just hope I don't let you down. That's all. I don't know if I'll be drinking on stream again. Maybe next time though. It's hot all of a sudden. Hot all of a sudden. I would like a beer or something like that right now. Little animals are nice. I've never actually watched them just wander around before. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Look at them go. Favorite Irish thing since James Joyce. Wow, that's cool. Need to get a new chair. I think I said this on the stream, but my chair is broke, so I gotta buy a new one. But then you gotta, you know, such a hassle, isn't it? You know, I need both my chairs. I had a little deck chair that I was using, cheap thing, but I'm gonna try and get a proper chair and actually be comfortable. Because we went and I sat in a chair, like I was in a furniture shop, and I sat in a chair, and then I remembered what it was like to sit in a comfortable chair. You know, I actually considered a chair fundraiser stream, but no, I can swing it. I can swing it. Come up with a unique console name on the spot. Oh, that's a good one. I'd like to do a sort of Sega console name, you know? They're all taken. Box and Cube and shit. Yeah. Something deck. There's something deck. I think deck is a nice. Deck is cool enough that you could, if it became popular and it had a deck in it, then, because the reason Xbox works as a name is because you want to keep it short but with the deck, right? Because it's got the nice sound at the end, right? Because what you'll notice, if you ever watch like TV shows or whatever, ever since the Xbox came along, nobody ever talked about Nintendo or PlayStation or anything like that. It was always Xbox, because in dialogue, Xbox sounds the best. It has the most punch to it as a line of dialogue. It sounds the most natural. It sounds like the most natural thing you would say. So even though PS4 won this kinds of thing, then even won this generation, it's probably, if they're making shows that reference game consoles, it's probably still Xbox most of the time, because Xbox sounds like something people say. You know what I mean? Or it sounds snappy. It's like, it's what the writer goes for, because he's like, yeah, I'm a writer and I can write snappy dialogue that sounds real. And so that's why Xbox is the one that gets referenced. Kodak was named as such because of the strength of the K sound. Yeah, there you go. It's become very hot all of a sudden today. just today. Not 2 days ago I had the heater on in here, and now I have no heater on and I'm too warm. So I don't know. I feel like we've gone from 4 seasons to 2 in this country. It's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. Any free to play games that you really like? No, I can't think of any. Yeah, it was all about Nintendo's back when Nintendo, but ever since Xbox came along, it's been Xbox. I wasn't aware there was new Modest Mouse stuff. I'll have a listen. Your 3 sisters were watching and they all got bored and went to bed. Yeah, that's because I'm gonna cut myself off. Yeah, I've watched Game Center CX, yeah. I like it. I'm not interested in any YouTuber or drama. I've made it clear that I'm not into any of that shit, so. Do you feel guilty I'm spending my free time watching you? Yeah, you're spending your free time watching me not play a game as well. I'm not even playing a game. I'm just not playing a game right now. Yeah, cool. They enjoy bayouting. I kind of think it would have been cool to put that up on the main channel in retrospect. Somebody said it in the comments, I think. I didn't agree at the time. Maybe now it wouldn't. I don't know. That's kind of low effort stuff that if I was gonna post something low effort on the main channel, that would be it, I think. I haven't tried Joker and Smash now. I probably will buy the DLC though, because I skipped it last time, so I feel like I got my money's worth with Ultimate, you know? But I knew they were going to come out with it on the next console, so I just skipped it and well, hang on. I'm not saying I predicted that Ultimate would have every single Smash character ever, but I had a good feeling that the DLC characters would be included in the next one. So, yeah. Oh, that's it. That's good. All right, we can carry on. Thirst quenched. Like prey slaughtered or whatever. Yeah, I'm feeling that right now. It's very warm in here. I don't know why. Just the ambient temperature of the earth, I suppose. Oh, didn't think I was going to hit that. I'm still not going to finish it this time, but... Thirst slaughtered. Get that man a job in advertising. You gotta get the fucking Sprite and Bloodborne collaboration going. When you're on the hunt, you need to stay refreshed. Your special limited edition flask or vial or whatever. Ah, can't believe I missed that. Yeah, I've watched the Astral Train trailer. I like the look of it. I don't know if I've talked about it before publicly, have I? I think I have, yeah. I like the look of it. I'm not especially excited for it though, because I think it's going to follow in Automata's footsteps and be a sort of action RPG, and it's not really what I want. So I think for me, it kind of how good the game is going to turn out to be depends on how intrusive certain elements are, you know? I would just prefer a straight up action game, basically, with the same mechanics. But everybody wants side quests, everybody gets hyped about a good side quest, and a good loot to unlock and all that. So what's the streamer etiquette, by the way? Is it normal to have your ASMR gulping sounds on the fucking... Am I supposed to mute the mic or what? Because I don't know. I don't know how it's supposed to be, fellas. And that guy's sisters as well. Now I feel like I'm finally getting into the swing of it. I feel like it's finally opening up to me a bit again. Big glug to assert dominance, alright. I actually am wearing pants, yeah. Sorry to burst your bubble, and that guy's three sisters as well. I'm wearing pants. They're quite comfortable though. So there's that. Maybe I should take them off because it's pretty fucking warm in here. I suppose it's because I have the PC and the laptop on, but it's just so much easier to stream this way. I don't even have the second monitor hooked up right now, so. What should I be talking about? Because we're just sitting in silence here. Now, to me, it's a comfortable silence. Is there such a thing on a stream? I don't know. I don't know. Comfortable silence. Well, it can't be that comfortable if I felt I need to fucking talk now, can I? Talking about my favourite animals. I don't see how anything can compete with the humble dog, you know? But that's me. Kind of like lizards. If I had to pick a wild animal to keep, it would probably be a lizard. I would get along with lizards. Not a snake though. Like a nice little gecko thing or something. Or an EA executive. Oh, no, 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 no. No. What's something you find weird about Americans? Dare we retread that ground, you know? I think Crackers brought this up on a previous stream, but I find it weird that you have like a fucking thing in your sink that just shreds things. A bit strange. Oh, do you know what I find weird? Here's what I find weird. I think I understand why this is the case, but I find the whole sales tax thing very strange. Like, you go to buy something and then the sales tax is added on after the fact. Very strange. Have I talked about this before? I think that's very strange. I think it's because different states have different sales tax. It'd be nice to just standardize that though, wouldn't it? So, I don't know, if you're not American, if I have any non-Americans watching the stream at this hour, you might not know this, but basically the price that you see something listed as in America isn't actually the price, because about 7%, I think it is, sales tax gets added on at the end. Whereas, no, that's not the way it is in Ireland. When you see something listed for a price, that includes the VAT, value added tax. And that's it. So you walk up and that's what you pay for it. Or if you buy it online, that's what you pay for it, you know? So it's very strange when you're dealing with an American thing and that's not how it is. Yes, it's like I can understand different states having their own amount, but that should, because it's factored into physical prices as well, you know. So it should be factored in as well, because if your shop exists somewhere, then you know what state it's in, you know what the fucking sales tax is for that state, so it should just list it. But I suppose it makes them look cheaper and things like that, you know, and it gives them a nice round number to work with. Or $59.99 or whatever. But it's strange. That's one reason why, see, people in America, you do get things cheaper generally, I think, than in Europe. But that's one reason it looks cheaper than it actually is, because the sales tax gets added on. Although in some states you won't have it, but I'm glad that Americans agree. Many Americans seem to agree that it's a bit strange. Here's another thing that's strange to me is tipping. We don't do that here, so there's no tipping here. Like if you order something, if you buy a pizza online or something and it's €19, like of course you can give the guy 20 and say just keep the change. If you get a taxi, it's €19, yeah, just hand them a 20 and say don't worry about it or whatever. That's fine, but you're not expected to do that, and you don't have to tip for anything over here at all, which is good. I hope that we never adopt it because it's a bit stupid. Now there is like you can go into say a coffee shop or something, and some of them might have like a little tip jar that you can throw some money into if you want to, you know, but it's not expected, and that's the way it should be. Clap when a Numatosis review comes out. I can understand tipping in a restaurant. I can kind of understand it, you know, but just it seems like such a strange thing to have to do all the time with different things, you know? Have you heard of the bad Japanese band Cassiopeia? Their music is really good. Well, you give such a wholehearted endorsement. I've been out of Ireland a few times, yeah, not in many years though. I'd like to go to Japan someday. Never been. Can you review all of Japan? That'll be my next project, maybe. Be a good excuse to get fucking paid to go over there. It's the only way I'm gonna get over there, you know? I don't know how much I'd like it over there, but I'd definitely like to visit at least. What do you think you dislike? Well, I don't like seafood, so that's a big problem right there. I think that would probably be my biggest problem. How do you get your omega-3? I think I get it somewhere. Sunflower, maybe? Or is it olive oil has it? I remember seeing it listed on something we have in the house, so I think I'm getting my omega-3 somehow. I haven't tried VR yet, no. Two people recommending salmon. Well, if I ever want to branch out, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, it's 5:30 in the morning here. Yeah, Lifeformed is just the name of one of the developers on the game. This was apparently the first thing he composed. Not this track or anything in particular, but he'd never done music before Dustforce, apparently. So I think I'm right about that. At least if I can beat this level, I should be looking at a new time, I think. What's the best pub in the city? You're asking the wrong guy. I don't get out much. I don't live there anymore. I generally just, if I'm meeting up with a friend, I just let them pick where to go. I'm using a controller. I think keyboard is, I don't know if it's too strong a word, but it's probably the objectively better way of playing it, because you can have every key. Theoretically, you could have every key with a finger on it at all times, whereas when you're using a pad, if you're using the face buttons like I am for jump, heavy and light, then your finger has to your thumb has to physically move from one to the other. So that can matter, you know. Will you make a more in-depth review of Rainworld? I might. Yeah, I certainly have more to say about it. You know, if I could get into some spoiler territory and talk a little bit more about it. I was hopeful that the don't know if I accomplished this or not, but I'm hopeful that anybody who had already played it still got something out of the Rain World, even if only to see me and go, like, yeah, he got it, you know, he got it. He had the same experience with it that I did. You know, there's only so much you can say about it, but yeah. I think this could be a good game for a fight stick, honestly. I mean, it has digital movement, 8 directions. That makes sense to me. I mean, if it's what you're comfortable with. I thought I was dead back there a second ago. I'm feeling a little out of sorts right now because in my mind this should be dead already. I told you that was harder than it looks. I hit it the first time and I had a feeling that everybody was like, yeah, whatever. No, those 2 jumps are harder than they seem to be. You ever get cabin fever working from home? Yeah, I would say I do. Try to get out a little bit. Well, I don't like going out, but I recognize that it's good for your mind to get out and about once in a while. Oh, I thought that attempt was dead as well. Huh. Well, it can die in 10 seconds instead. Fuck's sake. I'm surprised I hit that. I don't know why, but for some reason I keep letting off the jump button when I'm trying to make that second jump. Keep letting off jump too early. Do you work out? Very occasionally, yeah. I think I did something to my wrist last time I worked out. I was doing push-ups and I don't know, maybe I didn't do them the right way or something. My wrist has been hurting lately. So one of the games that, you know, I talked about wanting to play certain games repetitively and really explore them, and one of those games is Sin and Punishment Star Successor. And my wrist was not in good shape after the last play session of that, so I can't play that right now, which is frustrating because it would probably be near the top of my list right now. Pretty sloppy movements there, but I actually think I probably could have still saved time overall. Switch Pro Controller, PS4 or Xbox One. If I had to give it to one, I would say the Switch. Although I don't know, actually. Maybe the PS4? It's the problem is that I don't like the PS4 triggers so much. They're much improved compared to the PS3 ones, though. They were truly awful. But yeah, the PS4 D-pad is nice. The sticks on mine, the rubber has worn off, and it seems like a pretty common problem. Apart from that, it's good though. So it is a very good controller. Don't like the placement of the share button though. It's not really a problem on PC because Steam tends to map. Yeah, I'm using that right now as my restart option. It's not that big a problem, but I don't like the placement of the share button because I just feel like start and select are supposed to be symmetrical with each other like that, and yeah. Anyway, the big problem I really like the Switch Pro controller more than I was expecting to, but the big problem with it is the analog sticks are too slippy. I think the surface on them just isn't good enough. Whereas the thing that the Xbox controller has going for it is it has the best analog sticks. So just combine all those together and away you go. The Xbox sticks are by far the best though, and the triggers are pretty good on that as well. So. What I change about the PS5 controller? Not much, but the material or whatever they've done with the sticks has to change. Has to change. I would move the share button somewhere as well and have like just a start and select button. Plus and minus is very elegant. I think that the PlayStation button layout with triangle, square, X and circle is nice, but the plus and minus arrangement I think is the most sensible start and select option we've had. Oh yeah, the battery life on the PS4 controller is fucking awful. That's something the Switch Pro controller has going for it. Battery life is great on it. The light not being able to be turned off, that needs to change as well, because that's got to be a big drain on the battery. I think my PS4 controller doesn't go more than 2 hours without needing a charge now at this point. I feel like I've peaked at this level. I haven't had a good run in a while. And I'd like to end it on a good note by finishing a level, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. How do I keep doing it? Yeah, Dustforce was kind of unfortunately timed in that, like, indie games were going through their platformer phase where that was the #1 genre by far, and I think it got a bit overlooked. I could stream Streets of Rage again at some point. I'm not going to do it tonight, but I would like to 1cc it. For anybody who missed my tweet about that, I went back and I I finished it after the stream. I think it was the next day maybe, or later that day I think. Finished it. I had to use 1 credit, which is unfortunate, but I think I could maybe do a 1 credit clear on it. Only on normal now, but it'd be nice to do it. The biggest difference I made was the wrestlers. I don't think I died to them even once. And also, I did strangely poorly on the elevator when I was streaming. Which elevator? The one where you're on the island? Damn it. I did strangely poorly on that when I was streaming. I felt that at the time. But yeah, I did a lot better on that one when I was playing it again. So that helped. But yeah, the wrestlers, I think I beat them without losing a single life. Both of them. Maybe 1 life on the elevator guy. But yeah, it's much better to just use the Z-axis and walk and try and land a punch and then just go for the combo then and then back away. Repeat that than it is to go for whatever the fuck it was I was doing. I can't even remember what I did. Oh yeah, I was going for the spin dash kick thing, which is good. I did use that a few times actually because it does huge chunks of damage if you land it, so it's definitely a good way of doing the fight quickly. Played Gunstar Heroes? I have. Do you play fighting games? Not really, no. I'd like to get into them more, but again, just hard to find the time to just pick something up that I've already played and just pump more hours into it. Easier to justify when you're streaming, of course. So maybe I'll stream some sometime. Do you think Hitbox Team would have made a profit on Dustforce if it came out today? Good question, because while there was more platformers back then, I think indie games in general did better then. I would like to think they would, but in truth I don't know. I don't know. And I mean that as no comment on the game's quality whatsoever. Like I said, it's my favourite platformer, but I honestly don't know. People are very distracted by lots of different games coming out today, you know. I hope Spire goes well for them. I hope it comes out, and I hope it is the game that they want it to be, and that it does capture attention based on that merit, because it sounds like they want to do procedural generation to a good standard, and they're able to pull it off. And if not, I'll buy it anyway, because I'm just going to buy it day one, because I like to keep good developers alive. Actually, I don't do this often now. I don't want to come off like I'm some kind of altruist who just goes out buying games just to fund things. It's not. I don't do that. But I did buy Ironclad Tactics, even though I didn't have much interest in it, because I looked at it and I went, well, I hope they get to make another game after this, you know. And they might not get to do that if I don't buy this one, so I bought that when it came out. So, yeah. Dustforce is a high enough quality thing that I can buy Spire and be disappointed with it and still be like, oh, okay, whatever. I'll just shrug that off. That's okay. Maybe next time. Really should have been able to finish this level by now. I've tried Spelunky, but I never really got into it. Nothing against it or anything. I think maybe, you know, just played it on another day, maybe it would grab me and pull me in, but I'm not really looking for anything like that right now, so. Eager because I hadn't been past that bit in a little while. I should probably stop soon. I don't want to be on this all day, but you know, I'm still having a reasonably good time, even though I'm struggling to get past this bit. I restart because I haven't hit all the dust when I miss it on this thing, or sometimes I was glancing at the chat when it started, and if you're not moving right when the timer starts, then you know you've lost time. Almost good. I know I fucked that up a lot recently, but I'm surprised how consistent they've been hitting it otherwise. It's quite tricky. Maybe it hasn't been consistent at all, and I've just been fucking filtering out the bad attempts. They're over in 1 second. Ah, I was talking. Let's get to the end of one, or at least do this, because if we get past this, we're not going to be practiced up. Typical that I would get that right then this time. A little bit at the side that I keep missing otherwise. I did that again where I let go of the jump button earlier than I should have. Why did I do that? Look how that was much easier to hit that time. We're inching our way there. Inching our way there. Well, it'll be easier to get back there next time. We'll do it better. Next time, we'll do better. I wasn't quite happy with something in that run. I can't even remember it now. Oh yeah, I kind of slight slip up where I had to go back slightly. We're getting there though. That was nice. Curious how much time I stand to save over my last thing. It's probably only going to be like a second or two. It'd be nice to get it under a minute though. If that even. That opening bit saves time, not that much time. This is my problem with not playing levels out to completion, is that if I had practiced that ending a bit more, I'd have it now. Let's carry on for a change. Need to do that ending bit again, otherwise I'll just choke there again. Wow, I thought I had that for sure. I'm still tempted to do this bit much faster because that's the biggest time save I stand to gain right there, is doing that the quick way. Yeah, you kind of... I could probably just walk up that one on the right, make that more consistent. Let's see. The reason this is harder than it looks, by the way, is if you're holding up, you will start walking up. Right. So I should have another jump in me. If I do it right. So just right, left. Maybe I should use the jump. Jump there. Like, see, I can't decide whether it's better to jump off this one. Yeah, I think it is. It's better to jump off that one than to just try and walk up it. I think, anyway. Feel the muscle memory. I find this relaxing, not frustrating. You might feel differently being the one watching it, but no, it's pretty relaxing. Especially, I mean, I've already done this. You know, there's nothing at stake. Just playing a game I like again. Ideal that I did light attacks there, but it'll do. I don't know why I did them, don't ask. I don't have an answer. Not ideal there either, I wasn't moving up that as soon as I could have been. Not early, yeah, too early. Even that opening bit that I've been doing pretty smoothly could be done quicker if you fast fall right when you come off the ceiling. Actually, you probably wouldn't even hit the ceiling if you were trying to do it as quick as possible. You would just... Let's see. Let's see what kind of improvement I can make here. No, so that doesn't hit. I don't know if I should really be worrying about this, but I figure if I'm playing it and putting effort in here, I might as well try. I'm tempted to watch one of the replays, but yeah, okay. I'll just do it this way. It's only going to save a tiny bit of time anyway. Yeah, I'm playing with a controller. You can probably hear it, can you not? Must have used my other jump somewhere. I'm not sure, but I pressed jump and he didn't jump. You can tell by the sprite. I'm just, at this point, I'm not paying attention to it though. I do think maybe the difference between the jump and double jump sprite could be more pronounced. I mean, it's basically irrelevant because if you fucked it up, your run is over in most scenarios, like when you get to later levels especially. You're not going to be able to recover from not having your double jump, but still. It's nice that there's a difference, but it could be a little more pronounced, I suppose. Documentary series on mangakas? No, I haven't. Haven't watched anything like that. I feel like it was a little slow at one point there. I mean, obviously this is not a world record fucking run or anything, but I feel like I slowed down a tiny bit for some reason. I'm always scared of missing this jump, so I think that was my double jump gone anyway, because I kind of slid off the ledge. Descent there could have been a lot better. That was good. Wasted it, but we knew it was coming. Alright, let's look at some former glories to restore my spirits. Let's see. Oh, I really like this level. I should have played this one. I'm a bit fucking tired now. I might give this one a go. I don't really know how I would stand to improve this today, though. I gotta say, one thing I really like about Dustforce is that the levels are so fucking long and you have to go through so many challenges before you're done. I like that. I think I said as much in my recommendation video that like it doesn't have short checkpoints. There's one I want to show because it's pretty hard. I like it. Is it backup shift? Yeah. The one where I used Dustworth. Is it Dustworth? Is his name? I think so. Just over a minute. Look, it's tempting to try and improve that, isn't it? I didn't need to do that dash there. Or maybe, no, maybe I did to run up the wall again, maybe. Not bad. Could obviously be a lot cleaner, but not bad. Give us the hideout replay. I was tempted to show that one. Yeah, I'll have a look for it. It's probably not very good. I mean, obviously it's going to be SS, but it's probably not very good. I have a feeling this is the one where I was most wary, you know? This is basically counts as a spoiler because this level is fucking insane to try and SS. This is definitely, or I think anyway, it's the hardest of the non-difficult levels. Hey. There must be a glitch. Stop. We didn't get that bit up the top right. I think this is my least favorite level in the game. That doesn't look right. I'm assuming there's some kind of problem with it, but where I must have got that one up the top right, because I jumped up there. The hesitation. I can't even imagine how much I was shitting myself when I actually landed down here, having done it all. And let's see what it looks like in the top layer. Completion A. I better not undo my fucking rank now. I don't want to play this level again. Oh yeah, I wasn't using spike jumping, so yeah, I suppose that would make this level a lot better. Still very difficult, but Most of these spikes aren't at an angle anyway. I'm glad I'm not the only one who had trouble with the replays. Okay. I think I remember it doing something like that before, but... yeah, it's not nice to see anyway. I still have those 3 difficult levels to do. I don't even know if I could get up to the fucking difficult thing. Anymore. How do you do it? You go up like this? No. I like this about the game, but it makes it hard to come back to. You have to... Christ, I can't remember. Oh yeah, I think you have to just... There you go. Yay, we did it. Kilo difficult. Terra difficult. I think my favorites of the ones I've done is Mega difficult. Yeah, this is my favorite one that I've managed to finish, I think. Oh no, Exit difficult. I finished that. That's my favorite that I finished. This was a close second though. This is good. I'm not, I don't know why I've went in here. No, we need to practice for like 5 hours off stream before we try that one again. Actually, what I'll do, since I've never finished it anyway, I'll take a quick look at that one. What's the next one I want to do? I've done Exit. That's good. The 3 left. Peta. Zeta actually seems easier than Peta to me. Oh boy. Nope. Well, I'm hitting that a lot more than I thought I would, so that's good. It's the bit where you go into an X formation though that really fucks me. I can't do it consistently at all. And then there's actually a little bit right after that. I forget exactly. You have to squeeze through something and you have to hit 2 targets in a very short time frame. I'm tempted to keep playing this now. I'll play for a few minutes, see what happens. We weren't expecting to get anywhere today. It's okay, just de-rusting. I'm gonna stop streaming soon though, okay? It's getting bright out. All of the non-difficults are just tutorial. Well, all of the difficults are just fucking tutorial for Yate, so... Oh. What's the minimum height I need to be for this? Maybe I'm jumping unnecessarily. Not that it's fucking Not that I'm trying to get a good time on this level or anything, but you know. You can fuck off with your Infini. Yata is the last level and that's that. Right? Because that's the one I actually stand a remote fucking chance of ever actually completing. So that's the last level. And Giga was the last level. And I will treasure my Dustforce achievement forever. Because Giga is the last level of Dustforce. Right? This bit's very difficult as well. So you can't... For whatever reason, you can't jump, right? Am I wrong? That's very fucking hard. Oh, we got it. So we're gonna sort of roll off it and try and find a consistent method. That bit right there where you come out of the X. If I could get that, I think I could do this level sooner or later. That's the bit that always stops me. I cannot fucking do it for the life of me. I mean, the amount of speed you're supposed to get coming out of that is just crazy. But yeah, the rest of the level, I've finished this level without SSing it. Just more than I can... No, I've actually, yeah, I finished the whole game without SSing it. I did finish Yada one time. So I've finished them all, but yeah, I remember the rest of this level being not quite as hard as that. I mean, it's still difficult, but ten people have cleared Infinity. Jesus fucking Christ. By cleared you mean SS'd, obviously, right? Yeah. This shit looks impossible. Welcome to fucking Dustforce, my friend, but it is very gratifying to play. When you get it. I mean, you saw it. It took me a long time to shake off the rust, but that night temple was starting to look cleaner and cleaner, you know? And that is one of the harder levels. It's, I would say there's some of them are definitely harder, like Hideout and what's the other one I showed? Backup Shift is very hard as well. Backup Shift actually didn't look that hard when I watched it, but I remember it being a very difficult level. It's that bit where you have to go in between the sort of pincers. That's the really hard part, because you have to control your vertical height very carefully as you make your way through them, which is difficult. But the rest of it's not too bad. Hideout is basically a troll level though. Yeah, my neck's killing me. I gotta stop soon. I think you need to get SS to beat the game. Yeah, I consider this not beaten. Like, I haven't beaten it. I'm kind of half and half, because I know when the game came out, Giga Difficult was the final level. So in that sense, I feel like I kind of have beaten it. But on the other hand, I don't know. I think Infinite Difficult is like unattainable for the vast majority of people. You know, it's just not an attainable level, whereas Yada Difficult still kind of feels within the realm of possibility to me. The thing about Yada Difficult that's good is that it takes all the challenges of these levels, but it makes them a little bit easier, but it's just really fucking long and has them all, you know? But it is nice that it makes each challenge a little easier, from what I remember. Yeah, Infinity Difficult isn't an actual level on the map as well, which kind of... I think that was a good choice by the developers. But yeah, I do think though, the bit I actually have the most trouble with in Yada difficult is the I can't remember the name. I think it's the Terra difficult part where you're that bit's actually harder than the level it's based on. I think it's the only bit that's harder than the level. The mega difficult part is kind of harder than the level it's based on as well, but it's not so bad. But the Terra difficult bit where you have to fall down and break all those targets while you dodge in between all them spikes, that's the hardest section, I think. And that happens fairly early on, which is merciful, because at least then when you get past that, you know, or at least while you struggle past that, you're not having to redo the whole fucking stage again. Well, like the Giga Walls aren't as hard. Even these bits, the exit slides, they're not as hard. They're not as big. And they don't have that horrible X bit that this level has. So I was hitting this consistently when at the start, and this is the fucking the mystery. There we go. I didn't even mean to restart. Oh no, I didn't even mean to restart the stage. I just wanted to restart my fucking checkpoint. I still, even though I'm having a lot of trouble with this level, I still could see myself doing this before doing the other one. Whatever, I can't remember the name of it. The one that's opposite this, where you have to spike jump, or well, you don't have to, but I mean, yeah, you're gonna wanna. Oh, I gotta give this up. My hand is fucking cramped now. Alright, we're calling it a night here. I'll probably stream this again soon though, because I'd like to get back into it and actually finish out a difficult and have that on done and dusted. And be able to say I did it. Because I think it's very hard, and I can't really make this claim until I've assessed it, but I only hesitate slightly to say that Yada Difficult is probably the best platforming level ever fucking made, especially the way that these levels build up to it, and the fact that it's just this massive gauntlet. It's not, you know, you get to go past a little thing. It's just, here's this technical platformer and now use everything, and I really like that. So that's why I want to beat Yada Difficult, even though I never will. I'll bang my head against it. Never quite get there. Yeah, I'm burned. I can't do it. Alright. Well, we'll take another shot at this sometime soon, right? Like a nice comfy stream, and that'll be that. All right, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Hope you had a good time. I'm going to tend to my neck and maybe buy a new fucking office chair while I'm at it. See you later, everyone.